There's math in everything we do. There's math in the patterns of the snow collecting outside. There's even math used in the length of cutting of my shirt. There's also math in here. Well, not this specifically, but this. A bag of everyday rice. Now I reckon with a little bit of math know-how, a little bit of patience, and looking at it a few different ways, we can turn this boring bag of rice into math talk. You come home one night with 4 of your other friends, and you're all very hungry. You realize you only have 684 grains of rice to split amongst you. The question is, how do you most evenly spread 684 grains of rice among 5 people without having to cut any grains of rice in half? Estimation is an important part of solving any math problem. So in this problem, I know that 684 is the rice that I have to display among my 5 friends. So let's use numbers that we know. I know 5 times 125 will equal 625. So that'll give me a low end base number to work with. I know it's a little low, but we're working in a way to get numbers to work within for the remainder of our problem. I also know that 5 times 140 will be equal to 700. Again, this will be over the amount of rice that I have, but it'll provide me a number to work within. So if I take the average of my 125 and my 140 and find a place in the middle to kind of give myself a place to work from, I know that that'll come down to 133. So my estimation will be 133. That way I can kind of guide my math for the rest of the problem and work my way to solve it. Alright, now that we know our problem, let's think about it in a non-standard way using our base 10 blocks as a representation. For this non-standard approach, we're going to be using the Hangman method. So first, we know that our problem is 5 divided by 684. So 5 is going to be on the outside and 684 is going to be on the inside. So right off the bat, I know that 5 times 100, which we'll put on the outside, is 500. So that's what 500 will look like this with our base 10 blocks. So then we take this opportunity to minus it out. So I know that 684 minus 500 will equal 184. So now, using our base 10 blocks, I know that 184 will look just like this. So our next step will be 5 times 36 will equal 180. And minused out, I have an answer of 4. And I now know that 5 can no longer go into 4, so 4 will exist as our remainder. Then to simply get the answer, we add our outside numbers, so 100 plus 36 will get us 136 with a remainder of 4. And that's our non-standard approach to taking a look at the problem. Now that we've taken a look at our problem with our base 10 blocks using a non-standard method, as well as estimating what we think the answer is going to be, let's take a look at things using a pictorial sense. So we know that we have 684 grains of rice that we want to divide among our 5 friends. Using the math that we had from the first answer, we know that our answer is going to be 136 grains per person, with a remainder of 4 that you can feed to the dog or something. Okay, now let's take a look at it doing an old-fashioned symbolic approach. This will be your old school long division style, the way you learned it at school way back when. So we're going to work across through all of our numbers to get to our answer. So I know that 5 goes into 6 one time. 5 times 1 is 5. And when I subtract it out, I end up with 1. I then bring down my 8 for 18. I know 5 times 3 is 15. So I'll put my 3 up here. And then I'm going to subtract for 3, bring down my 4, making it 34. I know that 5 times 6 is 30, so I'll put my 6 up here, minus out, that's 4. That's going to act as our remainder. So our answer is going to be 136 with a remainder of 4. So to quickly recap, we work our way across the problem, working down, creating our remainder, finding our answer on the top, representing our remainder outside of the problem and not as a decimal. And this is the old school long division way to solve the problem. All right, we made it to the end. We looked at it in non-standard ways, we looked at it in a standard way, we used pictures and rice to kind of explain what's going on. But now we need to know what happened to our friends to end the story. Did they separate their ice properly? Let's take a look. Wow, Kenny, I'm so glad that you were able to split the rice among us so evenly. We each got 136 pieces with a remainder of 4 for the dog. I know, I'm super good at math, and I'm glad we did this in a bunch of different ways so that everybody gets the most fair amount.